Richard Sterling grabs the crystal water pitcher from the reception desk. Without warning, he lifts it high above Maya Davis's head. Ice-cold water cascades down her face, soaking through her $2,000 Armani suit. Every drop hits the Italian marble floors with a splash that echoes through the five-star lobby. The entire Manhattan Plaza Hotel falls silent. "You people don't belong in places like this," Sterling says, setting the empty pitcher down with a satisfied smirk. Maya doesn't flinch, doesn't scream. She reaches calmly for the tissue box on the marble counter. Water drips from her hair as she dabs her face. "Call your owner," she says quietly. "Now." Sterling laughs. "Lady, I am the management here." Maya glances at her Rolex. 14 minutes. If you're watching this, please subscribe and tell me where you're watching from, because in 14 minutes, this man's entire world is about to collapse. 30 minutes earlier, Maya Davis stands in front of her bedroom mirror. She adjusts the collar of her Armani blazer one final time. Today marks her 5th wedding anniversary with David. The surprise weekend at Manhattan Plaza was supposed to be perfect. Maya slides into the taxi outside their penthouse. "Manhattan Plaza Hotel, please." The driver glances in his rearview mirror. "That's some fancy place, miss." "Special occasion?" "Anniversary," Maya says, watching the city blur past her window. She doesn't mention that her husband just bought the entire hotel chain last month. Meanwhile, Richard Sterling paces behind the reception desk like a general inspecting troops. His perfectly pressed suit costs more than most people make in a month. But Sterling remembers growing up in a trailer park. He remembers food stamps and government cheese. Now he manages the most exclusive hotel in Manhattan, and he'll be damned if he lets it slip. "Listen up, people," Sterling announces to his staff. "We have standards here. This isn't some budget motel. I want you watching for anyone who doesn't fit our clientele." Jennifer Walsh nods eagerly from behind the concierge desk. "Of course, Mr. Sterling." Maintain the image. Emma Wilson keeps her head down at the front desk. She's heard this speech before. It always makes her stomach turn. "Exactly," Sterling continues. "One wrong guest and our reputation suffers. The board is watching everything I do. Security Chief Tony Anderson shifts uncomfortably by the elevator bank. Sir, as long as they can pay, Anderson, let me worry about who belongs here and who doesn't." The taxi pulls up to Manhattan Plaza's gleaming entrance. Maya steps out onto Fifth Avenue, her heels clicking against the sidewalk. The doorman in his gold-braided uniform opens the heavy glass doors. "Good afternoon, ma'am," he says with practiced politeness. Maya enters the lobby that took her breath away during the acquisition tour. Soaring ceilings, crystal chandeliers, marble imported from Italy, everything designed to make guests feel like royalty. From across the lobby, Sterling watches her approach the reception desk. His jaw tightens. Something about her doesn't fit his vision of Manhattan Plaza's typical guest. Emma Wilson looks up as Maya approaches. She recognizes the name immediately in the reservation system. Presidential Suite, 7 nights. The most expensive accommodation in the hotel. "Good afternoon, Ms. Davis," Emma says warmly. "Welcome to Manhattan Plaza. I have your reservation right here." Sterling materializes beside Emma like a shark sensing blood in the water. "I'll handle this," he says, snatching the tablet from Emma's hands. Emma steps back, confusion flickering across her face. "Ma'am," Sterling says, not bothering to look at Maya directly, "I think there's been some kind of mistake with this reservation." Maya maintains her composure. "I don't believe so." The confirmation number is P42891. Sterling's eyes narrow as he scrolls through the system. The reservation is legitimate. Payment confirmed. But something about this woman being in his hotel feels wrong to his gut. "Do you have identification?" he asks curtly. Maya produces her driver's license and Platinum American Express card. Both bear her name. Both are genuine. Sterling examines them like a detective studying evidence. Who made this reservation for you? I made it myself, Maya replies calmly. The presidential suite costs $8,000 per night, Sterling says, his voice dripping with skepticism. Are you certain you can afford this? Emma winces behind the counter. She's watched Sterling interrogate other guests before. It never ends well. The payment has already been processed, Maya says. Is there a problem? Sterling's face reddens. Years of suppressed anger bubble to the surface. Anger at his own past. Anger at people who remind him where he came from. Anger at anyone who threatens the world he's built. Ma'am, this establishment maintains certain standards, he says through gritted teeth. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at one of the budget hotels downtown. The lobby begins to take notice. Other guests slow their conversations. Staff members glance over nervously. Maya's voice remains steady. I'd like to speak with your manager, please. Sterling's laugh is sharp and bitter. You're looking at him. General Manager Richard Sterling, and I'm telling you this isn't the right place for you. Jennifer Walsh appears at Sterling's shoulder like a loyal lieutenant. Is everything all right, Mr. Sterling? Everything's fine, Sterling says. We're just explaining to this lady that she might be happier elsewhere. Emma's hands shake as she pretends to organize papers. She wants to speak up, wants to tell Sterling he's wrong. But she needs this job. She has student loans and rent to pay. Maya checks her phone. 17 minutes until David arrives. Sir, she says to Sterling, I insist you contact the owner of this hotel. Sterling's composure finally cracks. The words that have been building inside him for 30 minutes explode outward. You people don't belong in places like this. The lobby goes dead silent. Every conversation stops. Every footstep freezes. That's when Sterling reaches for the crystal pitcher. Tony Anderson approaches Maya with reluctant steps. His security uniform feels heavier with each footstep across the marble floor. Ma'am, he says quietly, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the premises. Maya doesn't move from the lobby chair where she's seated. Water stains darken her blazer, but her posture remains dignified. I'm not going anywhere until the owner arrives, she says simply. Sterling's voice booms across the lobby. Call the police! We have a trespasser who refuses to leave. Sir, Tony hesitates. Her reservation appears valid. I don't care what the computer says, Sterling snaps. Look at her! Does she look like she belongs in the presidential suite? That's when Emma Wilson finds her courage. She steps out from behind the reception desk. Her hands tremble, but her voice stays steady. Mr. Sterling, her reservation is completely valid. Payment confirmed. Credit approved. Sterling whirls on Emma like a predator cornered. Ms. Wilson, if you want to keep your job, you'll stay out of this. But, sir, we have protocols. You're fired too if you don't shut your mouth right now. The threat hangs in the air like a blade. Emma's face goes pale. 3 years of employment, 3 years of perfect reviews, all because she tried to do the right thing. Other hotel guests begin pulling out their phones. The scene unfolds like a car accident nobody can look away from. Mrs. Catherine Miller, a regular guest from the Upper East Side, holds her iPhone steady. This is absolutely disgraceful, she murmurs to her husband. A young businessman near the elevator bank opens his TikTok app. His finger hovers over the record button. Maya sits calmly in the leather chair, checking the time on her phone. 12 minutes, she says to herself. Sterling storms toward the hotel's landline. I'm calling 911. Suspicious individual refusing to leave private property. Sir, Jennifer Walsh whispers urgently, maybe we should wait for corporate. I am corporate, Sterling shouts. This is my hotel. As Sterling dials, Maya's mind drifts to another hotel lobby. She was 8 years old. Her father wore his best suit to celebrate a promotion at his law firm. They'd driven 2 hours to the Lake Resort Hotel for a family weekend. Maya remembered her excitement. Her first time in a fancy hotel with a swimming pool. The manager back then had the same look in his eyes as Sterling, the same dismissive tone when he suggested they'd be more comfortable at the roadside motel. Her father had paid for the room in cash, showed his identification, proved he belonged, but it hadn't mattered. They'd been escorted out anyway. 8-year-old Maya watching her father's shoulders slump in defeat. Never again, she'd promised herself that night. The memory fades as police sirens wail in the distance. Sterling grins triumphantly. Help is on the way, ma'am. Last chance to leave voluntarily. Maya remains seated. I'll wait. More guests gather in the lobby now. Word spreads through the hotel like wildfire. The businessman hits record on his phone. This is James Chen, streaming live from Manhattan Plaza Hotel, he whispers into his camera. You guys are not going to believe what's happening here. An elderly woman near the concierge desk speaks up. Young man, this is wrong. That lady has done nothing but try to check into her room. Sterling rounds on her. Ma'am, please mind your own business. Treating paying customers like criminals is my business when I'm staying here. Jennifer Walsh nervously approaches Sterling. Sir, should we perhaps block her credit card, flag it as suspicious? Already called it in, Sterling lies. Probably stolen anyway. Emma Wilson watches from behind the reception desk, her heart pounding. She thinks about her grandmother's stories, the lunch counters that wouldn't serve her, the hotels that had no vacancy for people who looked like Maya. The businessman's live stream now has 50 viewers, then 100, then 500 people watching the drama unfold in real time. Comments flood his screen. This is 2024, not 1954. Get this man fired. What hotel is this? Tony Anderson shifts his weight from foot to foot. 20 years in security. He's never felt this conflicted about following orders. Sir, he says quietly to Sterling, maybe we should just let her check in. The paperwork looks legitimate. Anderson, whose side are you on here? I'm on the side of not getting sued, sir. The police sirens grow louder. Sterling straightens his tie, preparing for vindication. Maya checks her phone again. 5 minutes. She stands gracefully, water stains and all. Every eye in the lobby follows her movement. The police cruiser pulls up outside. 2 officers step out, their faces already showing skepticism about the emergency call. Sterling rushes to meet them at the entrance. Officers, thank God you're here. We have a trespasser who refuses to leave. The businessman's live stream now has over 1,000 viewers. The chat explodes with outrage. Officer Martinez looks at Maya, then at Sterling. Ma'am, is there a problem here? Maya produces her reservation confirmation, ID, and credit card. I'm trying to check into my room. I have a valid reservation. Officer Davis examines the documents. Everything appears legitimate. Sir, he says to Sterling, this looks like a valid hotel reservation to me. Officer, you don't understand, Sterling insists. She doesn't belong here. Look at her. The words hang in the air like a confession. Officer Martinez's expression hardens. Sir, what exactly are you saying? Sterling realizes his mistake too late. I mean, our clientele usually... Usually what? Officer Davis asks. Emma Wilson finally finds her voice. Officers, I processed her reservation myself. Presidential suite, 7 nights. Everything's legitimate. Sterling glares at Emma with pure hatred. You're fired. Clear out your desk. The crowd of guests murmurs angrily. Phones continue recording. The live stream chat demands justice. Maya remains calm through it all. She checks her phone one final time. A slight smile crosses her lips. Some people mistake kindness for weakness, she says, her voice carrying across the silent lobby. Today they learn the difference. The elevator chimes softly. Expensive Italian leather shoes step onto the marble floor. David Davis emerges from the elevator like a force of nature. His custom-tailored Tom Ford suit costs more than Sterling's monthly salary. His presence commands the room without saying a word. Sterling doesn't recognize him. He's too focused on his perceived victory with the police. "Sir," Sterling calls out confidently, "we're handling a situation here. Everything's under control." David surveys the scene with the calculating gaze of a CEO. His wife sits calmly in a chair, her expensive suit stained with water. Hotel staff look terrified. Guests hold phones like weapons. Police officers stand confused in the middle of chaos. "Maya," David says quietly, "are you all right?" The simple question cuts through the lobby's tension like a knife. Sterling's brow furrows. "Sir, do you know this woman?" David moves to his wife's side, places a gentle hand on her shoulder. "I know her very well." "She's been trespassing," Sterling explains, eager to justify his actions. "Refused to leave when asked. We had to call the police." Officer Martinez looks between David and Maya. Something about this man's authority makes him reconsider everything. "And you are?" Officer Davis asks. "David Davis," he replies calmly, "owner of Davis Hospitality Group." Sterling's face goes blank. "I'm sorry, what?" "This hotel," David continues, his voice never rising above conversational tone, "along with 47 others in our chain." The color drains from Sterling's face like water down a drain. Jennifer Walsh's hands fly to her mouth. Tony Anderson's jaw drops open. Emma Wilson stares in shock from behind the reception desk. "Mr. Davis," Sterling stammers, "I had no idea. She never said—" "She's my wife." The words land like a physical blow. Sterling staggers backward, his world tilting off its axis. David turns to the gathered crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this disturbance. This behavior does not represent the values of Davis Hospitality Group." The businessman's live stream now has 5,000 viewers. Chat messages scroll so fast they blur together. "Oh my God, the plot twist. That manager is so fired. Best karma video ever." Mrs. Miller lowers her phone, satisfaction spreading across her face. "About time someone put that man in his place." An elderly gentleman near the bar raises his voice. "We saw everything." That manager poured water on this lady for no reason. Other guests begin speaking up, their voices overlapping. "He was completely out of line. She tried to check in normally. He said she didn't belong here. It was disgusting to watch." The crowd becomes a Greek chorus of witnesses, each voice adding to Sterling's condemnation. David's expression remains controlled, but ice forms behind his eyes. "Mr. Sterling, I believe we need to have a conversation." "Sir, please," Sterling begs. "Let me explain. I was protecting the hotel's reputation. I didn't know she was your wife. She never identified herself." "She shouldn't have to," David replies quietly. Officer Martinez clears his throat. "Mr. Davis, would you like us to file a report about this incident?" "That won't be necessary, officer. We'll handle this internally." The police officers exchange glances. They've seen enough workplace drama for one day. "We'll be going then," Officer Davis says. "Ma'am," he nods to Maya, "I'm sorry for the confusion." As the officers leave, the lobby falls silent except for the soft hum of the businessman's live stream. "Now then," David says, his voice carrying absolute authority, "I'd like to see the security footage from the past hour." Tony Anderson hesitates. "Sir, I'm not sure. That wasn't a request." Tony hurries to the security office behind the reception desk. His hands shake as he operates the equipment. The large monitor above the concierge desk flickers to life. Crystal clear footage shows Sterling grabbing the water pitcher, shows him pouring it over Maya's head, shows him saying words that will end his career. Gasps echo through the lobby. Even guests who witnessed it live react with fresh shock seeing it replayed. "Play it again," David says calmly. The footage repeats, Sterling pouring water on Maya, Sterling saying she doesn't belong, Sterling refusing to let her check into her own reservation. Jennifer Walsh begins quietly crying at the concierge desk. She knows her association with Sterling has doomed her career. Emma Wilson stands frozen behind the reception counter. She defended Maya, but will that be enough to save her job? The businessman's live stream chat explodes. "Replay it again! Evidence! Sue them all! Justice time!" David turns to address the gathered crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, what you've witnessed today is unacceptable. As the owner of this hotel, I take full responsibility." He pauses, letting his words sink in. "Effective immediately, there will be consequences." Sterling drops to his knees in the middle of the marble floor. "Mr. Davis, please, I have a mortgage." "Kids in college. I was just trying to maintain standards." "Whose standards?" David asks quietly. The question hangs in the air like a challenge. "Sir, I've worked hospitality for 20 years. I know how to spot trouble. What trouble did you spot with my wife?" Sterling's mouth opens and closes like a fish out of water. No answer comes. Maya finally speaks from her chair. "He saw someone who didn't fit his image of who belongs in luxury hotels." The businessman angles his camera toward Maya. His viewer count climbs past 10,000. This live stream will be viral within hours. "That's not what I meant," Sterling protests weakly. "Then what did you mean?" David asks. The lobby waits for an answer that never comes. Emma Wilson takes a deep breath. After watching Maya's dignity under pressure, she finds courage she didn't know she possessed. "Mr. Davis," she says, stepping forward, "I want you to know that Ms. Davis was nothing but polite. Her reservation was valid. Her payment was confirmed. She did nothing wrong." David nods appreciation toward Emma. "Thank you for speaking up." Sterling glares at Emma with pure hatred. "You little traitor! After everything I've done for you." "You mean after everything you've done to her?" Maya corrects from her chair. The businessman's chat becomes a wall of fire emojis and justice symbols. Viewers are screenshotting everything, preparing to make this the internet's next viral justice moment. David checks his watch. It's 3:47 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. "Do you know what that means, Mr. Sterling?" Sterling shakes his head, confusion adding to his panic. "It means the board of directors is in session upstairs. They're about to witness how I handle situations like this. The revelation hits like a thunderbolt. The board is here, watching, judging." David's voice never wavers from its calm, controlled tone. "Respect isn't earned by the title on your badge. It's earned by the character in your heart." David walks to the security desk where Tony Anderson stands frozen. "Mr. Anderson, please deactivate Mr. Sterling's access credentials. Now." Tony's fingers hover over the keyboard. 20 years of following orders wars with 20 seconds of moral clarity. "Sir, That's not a request." Tony types rapidly. Sterling's keycard access dies with electronic finality. His computer login expires. His authority evaporates in real time. The businessman's live stream chat explodes. "He's getting fired live!" 10,000 viewers watching justice. "Someone record this." Sterling watches his career disappear on the security monitor. "Mr. Davis, please. I have 20 years with this company. I have references, performance reviews." "You had them," David corrects quietly. Jennifer Walsh realizes her association with Sterling has doomed her. She begins clearing her desk, tears streaming down her face. "Ms. Walsh," David calls out, "did you participate in refusing service to my wife?" Jennifer stops moving. Every eye in the lobby focuses on her. I supported Mr. Sterling's decision, sir." "Why?" The question forces honesty from her. because I was afraid of losing my job if I disagreed. Instead, you lost it by agreeing. David turns to Tony Anderson. Mr. Anderson, what's your assessment of this situation? Tony straightens his security uniform. Sir, I believe Mrs. Davis was treated unfairly. I was uncomfortable following orders to remove her. But you followed them anyway. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. David nods slowly. Your honesty is noted. Emma Wilson remains behind the reception desk, uncertain of her fate. She spoke up for Maya, but will that save her job? Ms. Wilson, David says, how long have you worked at Manhattan Plaza? 3 years, sir. In those 3 years, have you ever witnessed similar incidents? Emma's voice barely whispers. Yes, sir. Not exactly the same, but similar. And what did you do about them? The question pierces Emma's conscience. Nothing, sir. I was afraid. What changed today? Emma looks at Maya, still sitting calmly despite everything. I watched how she handled herself. With dignity, even when being humiliated. It made me ashamed of my silence. Maya smiles encouragingly at Emma, the first warm expression since this nightmare began. Mr. Davis, Sterling interrupts desperately, I'm begging you. I have children in college, a mortgage, car payments. I'll do anything to make this right. David's expression doesn't soften. What would you do differently? Everything. I'll apologize to your wife. I'll take sensitivity training, anger management, whatever you want. The time for that was before you poured water on my wife's head. The live stream audience now exceeds 15,000 viewers. Screenshots and clips spread across social media like wildfire. Hashtag Manhattan Plaza racism begins trending. Mrs. Miller approaches David with her phone. Mr. Davis, I recorded the entire incident. Would you like a copy for your investigation? Thank you, Mrs. Miller. Please send it to our legal department. Sterling's last hope crumbles. Video evidence, multiple witnesses, a live stream with thousands of viewers, his actions preserved for eternity. Sir, Tony Anderson says quietly, the board members are coming down from the conference room. Elevator doors open. 5 impeccably dressed board members emerge, their faces grim with concern. David, says Chairman Patricia Williams, we heard there was an incident. Indeed there was, David replies. Mr. Sterling, would you like to explain to the board what happened here? Sterling looks around the lobby desperately. Security cameras recording, guests staring, social media spreading his shame worldwide. I made a mistake, he whispers. What kind of mistake? Patricia Williams asks sharply. I judged a guest inappropriately. How inappropriately? Sterling's voice breaks. I poured water on her head because I didn't think she belonged here. The board members exchange horrified glances. This is a public relations catastrophe in the making. Board member Robert Johnson shakes his head in disgust. In 40 years of hospitality, I've never heard anything so appalling. The incident was live-streamed, David adds quietly. 15,000 viewers and climbing. Patricia Williams' face goes pale. This will be on every news channel by tonight. Already trending on social media, confirms the businessman, still recording. David walks to Maya's chair, offers his hand to help her stand. She accepts gracefully, water stains still visible on her expensive suit. Ladies and gentlemen, David announces to the lobby, I want you to witness how Davis Hospitality Group responds to discrimination. The room falls completely silent. Mr. Sterling, you are terminated immediately. Security will escort you from the premises. Sterling collapses into a chair, his world shattered. Please. Ms. Walsh, your employment is also terminated for supporting discriminatory practices. Jennifer sobs openly at the concierge desk. Mr. Anderson, David continues, You will report to Human Resources Monday morning for retraining. Your honesty today prevents termination, but your initial compliance was unacceptable. Tony nods gratefully. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Miss Wilson. Emma's heart stops. This is it. Her moment of judgment. Your defense of Mrs. Davis showed moral courage. How would you like to be general manager of Manhattan Plaza? The lobby erupts in surprised murmurs. Emma's jaw drops open. Sir, I don't understand. The position just became vacant. You demonstrated the leadership qualities we value. Character over compliance. Emma's eyes fill with tears. 3 years of watching injustice silently. Today she found her voice and changed her life. The businessman's chat explodes with celebration. Promotion for the hero. Justice served. Good always wins. Sterling watches his replacement being chosen in real time. The woman he tried to fire will now occupy his office. This is impossible, he mutters. She's too young. Too inexperienced. She's too principled, David corrects. Something you never understood. Patricia Williams addresses the gathering crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, this incident will lead to immediate policy changes across all Davis hospitality properties. Effective tomorrow, David adds, we're implementing mandatory bias training for all management staff. Zero tolerance for discrimination, and a 24-hour hotline for reporting incidents. The board members nod approval. Crisis management in action. Maya finally speaks to the assembled crowd. Change happens when good people refuse to stay silent. Thank you to everyone who witnessed this and stood up for what's right. Spontaneous applause fills the lobby. Guests clap for justice served, for courage rewarded, for dignity restored. Sterling and Jennifer are escorted toward the exit by Tony Anderson. Their careers in luxury hospitality are over, their reputations destroyed, their actions broadcast to the world. As they reach the lobby doors, Sterling turns back one final time. This isn't fair, he calls out desperately. I was just doing my job. David's response cuts through the applause like a blade. Your job was hospitality. You chose hostility instead. The doors close behind Sterling forever. The lobby erupts in sustained applause as Sterling disappears through the glass doors. Guests who witnessed the humiliation now celebrate justice served in real time. Mrs. Miller wipes tears from her eyes. In 60 years, I've never seen anything so satisfying. The businessman's live stream reaches 25,000 viewers. Comments flood the screen faster than he can read them. Best karma video ever. Sharing this everywhere. That's how you handle racism. David addresses the crowd with calm authority. Ladies and gentlemen, what you witnessed today will not be swept under the rug. This is how Davis Hospitality Group responds to discrimination. Board member Patricia Williams steps forward. Effective immediately, we're implementing the Emma Wilson Protocol. Any employee who reports discrimination will receive protection and recognition. Applause fills the marble lobby again. Emma Wilson stands behind the reception desk, still processing her promotion from front desk supervisor to general manager. 3 years of silent compliance transformed into leadership in a single moment of courage. Ms. Wilson, David calls out, what's your first decision as general manager? Emma takes a deep breath. The weight of authority feels strange but empowering. Any staff member who supported Mr. Sterling's actions today will undergo immediate review, she announces. Anyone who remained silent when they could have spoken up will receive additional training. More applause. The guests approve of Emma's decisive leadership. David's mind drifts back to the phone call he received 18 months ago. The real estate broker had found the perfect acquisition target. Manhattan Plaza Hotel, struggling with declining occupancy and outdated management practices. The location is prime, the broker had explained, but the culture needs work. Staff turnover is high. guest complaints about service inconsistency. David had toured the property personally, noticed how staff interacted differently with different types of guests, saw the subtle but unmistakable signs of institutional bias. He'd bought the hotel chain not just for profit, but for transformation, to prove luxury hospitality could be both exclusive and inclusive. Today's incident validated his worst fears about the existing management. "Mr. Davis," interrupts a reporter who somehow gained access to the lobby. "Sarah Chen from Channel 7 News. Can you comment on the viral video showing discrimination at your hotel?" David maintains his composure. "We take discrimination seriously at Davis Hospitality Group. Today's swift action demonstrates our commitment to change." "Will there be additional consequences beyond termination?" "We're reviewing all policies and procedures. This incident reveals systemic issues that require comprehensive solutions." Emma approaches David with a tablet. "Sir, we're receiving calls from other hotel chains. They want to know about our anti-discrimination protocols. They'll learn about them when we publish our new standards next week," David replies. Tony Anderson returns from escorting Sterling out. His security uniform bears the weight of conflicted loyalty. "Mr. Davis," he says quietly, "I want to formally apologize for my actions today. I followed orders I knew were wrong." David studies Tony's face. 20 years of service, a clean record, a moment of moral failure followed by honest remorse. "Mr. Anderson, you'll report to our new Director of Equity and Inclusion Monday morning. Your first assignment is helping design our bias training program. Tony's relief is visible." "Thank you, sir. I won't let you down again." "See that you don't." The businessman finally ends his live stream after 30 minutes of recording. "Guys, that was incredible. 28,000 people watched Justice Happen live. Make sure you follow me for more content like this." His phone buzzes with notifications. The video is being shared across every social platform: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Manhattan Plaza's discrimination incident becomes the internet's newest viral sensation. Maya finally stands from her chair, her composure intact despite the water stains on her expensive suit. "David," she says quietly, "I'd like to address the staff." David nods approval. Maya walks to the center of the lobby, commanding attention without raising her voice. "I'm Maya Davis," she begins. "Today I experienced something no guest should ever face in a luxury hotel. But I also witnessed something beautiful." The lobby falls silent. "I watched Emma Wilson risk her job to defend a stranger. I saw guests use their phones not just to record, but to stand witness for justice. I witnessed how quickly change can happen when people refuse to accept the unacceptable." Emma wipes tears from her eyes behind the reception desk. "This hotel will become a model for the industry," Maya continues. "Not because discrimination happened here, but because of how swiftly and completely we addressed it." Sustained applause echoes through the marble space. David announces the immediate changes. "Effective Monday, every Davis Hospitality property will implement new protocols, anonymous reporting systems, monthly bias training, promotion incentives for inclusive behavior. Additionally," Patricia Williams adds, "we're establishing the Emma Wilson Leadership Scholarship, $50,000 annually for hospitality students from underrepresented communities." Emma gasps. A scholarship program bearing her name. "Furthermore," David continues, "we're creating a Dignity in Hospitality certification program. Other hotel chains can license our training materials and protocols." The businessman reopens his live stream. "Guys, they're turning this whole thing into industry reform. This is bigger than just one hotel now." Mrs. Miller raises her hand like a student in class. "Mr. Davis, will you be pressing charges against the former manager?" "We're consulting with legal counsel about all available options," David replies diplomatically. The reporter from Channel 7 scribbles notes furiously. This story has national implications. discrimination in luxury hospitality, viral justice, corporate accountability in real time. One more thing, David announces. Every guest present during today's incident will receive a complimentary weekend stay at any Davis hospitality property. You stood up for what's right. We want to thank you properly. The crowd murmurs appreciation, justice, and rewards for moral courage. Emma approaches Maya with genuine warmth. Mrs. Davis, I want you to know that your grace under pressure inspired me to find my voice. Thank you. Maya embraces Emma gently. You had the voice all along. You just needed the right moment to use it. The two women represent different backgrounds but shared values, dignity, courage, the refusal to accept discrimination as normal. David checks his phone. News alerts are already appearing. Hotel manager fired after viral discrimination video. CEO witnesses wife's humiliation, takes immediate action. Manhattan Plaza becomes symbol of corporate accountability. Sir, Emma says, reservations are flooding in. People want to stay at the hotel that took a stand against discrimination. David smiles. Good PR often comes from doing the right thing. The reporter approaches for one final question. Mr. Davis, what message do you want to send to other business owners watching this story? David considers his words carefully. The entire hospitality industry is watching. Discrimination isn't just morally wrong, he says. It's bad business. Treat every customer with dignity, regardless of appearance or assumptions. Your employees, your reputation, and your bottom line will all benefit. The live stream chat celebrates wisdom. Business and morals can align. Other companies take notes. As the crowd begins to disperse, Maya takes David's arm. Ready for our anniversary weekend? David laughs. It's certainly been memorable so far. Emma approaches with Maya's keycard. Mrs. Davis, the presidential suite is ready whenever you are. Maya accepts the keycard with a smile. Thank you, Emma. I have a feeling this hotel is going to be very special under your leadership. 6 months later, Manhattan Plaza Hotel stands transformed. The same marble floors gleam under crystal chandeliers, but the atmosphere radiates genuine warmth instead of cold exclusivity. Emma Wilson adjusts her general manager nameplate one final time before the morning staff meeting. The transition from front desk supervisor to hotel leadership surprised everyone, including herself. Good morning, team, she addresses the assembled staff. I'm proud to announce we've achieved something remarkable. 0 discrimination complaints in 6 months. Not one. Applause fills the conference room. The same staff who once followed Sterling's divisive leadership now embrace Emma's inclusive approach. Tony Anderson raises his hand from the back row. Ma'am, our guest satisfaction scores are the highest in company history. 97% approval rating. Emma beams with pride. That's what happens when you treat every guest like family. The Emma Wilson Leadership Scholarship has already changed lives. 25 students from underrepresented communities now study hospitality management with full financial support. Applications pour in from across the country. Additionally, Emma continues, our Dignity in Hospitality certification program has been adopted by 43 hotel chains nationwide. We're literally changing the industry. The businessman who live-streamed Sterling's downfall now works as Davis Hospitality Group's social media consultant. His viral video has been viewed over 10 million times across all platforms. Maya Davis walks through the lobby where her humiliation occurred 6 months ago. Today, she's greeted with genuine respect by every staff member she encounters. Good afternoon, Mrs. Davis, calls Maria Santos, the new assistant manager. How was your business trip? Productive, thank you, Maya replies warmly. Is Emma available? She's in her office reviewing the quarterly reports. I'll let her know you're here. The same office where Sterling once plotted discrimination now serves as headquarters for hospitality reform. Emma has transformed the space with inclusive artwork and mission statements about dignity and respect. Maya! Emma rises from her desk with genuine enthusiasm. Perfect timing. I wanted to show you something. She produces a framed magazine cover, Hotel Management Today, featuring Emma's photograph with the headline, "The Manager Who Changed Everything." The article calls you the catalyst for an industry revolution, Emma explains. Your courage that day inspired thousands of hospitality workers to speak up about discrimination. Maya studies the magazine cover. We both found our voices that day. You just found yours louder. David enters Emma's office carrying a bottle of champagne. I hope I'm not interrupting. I wanted to personally deliver some good news. Emma and Maya look expectantly at David. The board voted unanimously. You're being promoted to regional manager, Emma. You'll oversee 15 properties across the Northeast. Emma's hands fly to her mouth. Regional manager, 15 hotels, thousands of employees under her leadership. Sir, I don't know what to say. Say you'll continue the transformation we started here. Tony Anderson appears in the doorway. Excuse me, but there's someone here to see you all.